Welcome back to another episode of Meal Preps, but Vietnamese, where I show you how to make tasty and easy Vietnamese inspired dishes with some slight adjustments to help you get a little bit closer to your health and fitness goals this year. Now, we're a little more than halfway through February, so as a little pulse check, how are your resolutions going so far? For me, with more regular exercise and being a bit more mindful of my eating habits, I'm already down 9 pounds. But still, I have a lot of work to do, but we're making great progress so far. Now for today's meal prep, we're making an extra low-calorie meal that's still incredibly tasty and filling. This is tom nuong, or grilled shrimp. It's super easy to make, the marinade packs a ton of flavor, and the best part is that the whole meal comes to just 363 calories. So do me a favor and make sure you like, comment, share, and save this video. Alright, Shell, remember to wash your hands. Now first, since we're making shrimp skewers, I do want to soak some skewers in some water so that it doesn't burn too quickly on the grill. And this does work better in a container that you can lay the skewers flat and be fully submerged, but do what you can. Then to make our marinade, we have some green onions, and first we'll separate the whites from the greens. We're going to finely chop up the green to use as a garnish later, and then the white part is getting thrown into our food processor for our marinade. Now to our food processor, we'll add a whole jalapeno, and then I like a little bit more heat, so I'll also add in 2 Thai chilies. To that, we'll add in a tablespoon of minced garlic, and then I have 2 tablespoons of fish sauce. Then to balance it out, we'll add in 2 tablespoons of your choice of sweetener, and I'm just using honey. To finish our marinade, we'll add in a tablespoon of oil and a tablespoon of water to loosen it all up. We'll pulse this a few times before blending it until it's mostly homogeneous. And once your marinade looks like this, we'll pour it over our shrimp. And I just have about 2 pounds or 40 jumbo shrimp that I peeled and deveined earlier. We'll give that a good mix and let this vibe out in the fridge for a minimum of an hour, or even better is longer. We want to make sure that all those flavors really penetrate deep into the shrimp. Now while our shrimp is marinating, we're going to make our rice, but with a slight twist to make it more calorie friendly. Now first, I have about 2 cups of uncooked rice, and we're going to wash it 3 to 4 times until that water runs mostly clear. And if you like this recipe and you want to learn how to make more of your favorite Vietnamese inspired meal preps, make sure you subscribe and turn on your notifications to stay up to date on all my latest posts. We're going to cook our rice at a 1-to-1 ratio of rice to water, and if you grew up in an Asian household, you already know the finger trick. You place your finger on top of the rice and fill it up with water until it hits that first knuckle for perfectly cooked rice every single time. Now we are going to cook our white jasmine rice normally, but we're going to mix it in with some rice cauliflower to sneak in some veggies, cut the amount of carbs while still giving us the taste and fullness of rice. Now this is just a small head of cauliflower, and I'm just going to cut off the stem ends and then cut them into smaller pieces. I'm not too worried about how I cut it because this is all going in the food processor anyways. We're going to do this in batches to make sure that we don't overcrowd our food processor, and then processing that until the pieces are roughly the same size as our grains of rice. And we'll need about 32 ounces of rice cauliflower for this recipe. Now before we rice all of our cauliflower, we can't forget to pay the cauliflower tax. Now before we mix our cauliflower in with our cooked rice, I am going to saute it first to help it develop a little bit of its nutty flavor. So to a pan on medium-high heat, we'll add in a splash of oil, and we'll saute a tablespoon of minced garlic for about a minute or until fragrant. We'll drop in our cauliflower rice and add a pinch of salt to help release some of its moisture, and we'll continue to cook this for about 3 to 5 minutes. And when the rice is done cooking, we'll combine our white jasmine rice with our rice cauliflower. And for this ratio, we have about 4 cups of cooked rice and 4 cups of our cauliflower for a 1-to-1 ratio. Now personally, this is my favorite way to eat cauliflower rice because on its own, I think cauliflower rice just tastes way too healthy and it's not satisfying. But by mixing it in like this, we get the beauty of the white rice while cutting back on some of the carbs and getting all the added nutrients of the cauliflower. Now, on a side note, this is also a great way to sneak in some veggies for your kids if they're picky. But I would actually change the ratio to 2-to-1 rice to cauliflower instead, because at that ratio, you really can't even tell that there's cauliflower in that rice at all. Now anyways, once we have all of our rice done, the last thing we gotta do is skewer our shrimp, grill it up, and pack up our meal preps. Now these shrimp skewer up pretty quickly, and I do like serving them on skewers, not just for the aesthetics, but it also makes it super easy to portion out when it's already on the skewers. So to each skewer, I'm going to put through 4 shrimp each, and skewering the shrimp right through the tail, and again right through the thickest part, right below where the head would have been. And each skewer should look just like this. We're going to repeat this step 9 more times, and when they're all skewered up, it's time to grill them. Now, I just want to say that it has been cold and snowy in Seattle, but this is best cooked on the grill, so we're going to brave the weather and get our grill up to about 400 degrees. These shrimp skewers cook up super quick and should only take about 2 minutes on each side. Just make sure you get some nice charring and grill marks for some extra flavor. Now once our shrimp skewers are cooked through, it's time to plate them up. So first, to each meal prep container, I'm going to divide the cauliflower rice into 5 equal portions. Then each container is getting 2 skewers each. And the finishing touch is just garnishing with our green onions. And I will say a little slice of lime would also be a nice touch here, but just like that, you've made an incredibly tasty and filling tom nuong meal prep, and each one of these comes out to just 363 calories. As always, the printable recipe and the full macro breakdown is on my blog at feedthepudge.com. And if you've made it this far, let me know in the comment section, how's your progress on your New Year's resolutions going so far? Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy.